Hey, everybody, we are back, and I want to thank everybody for all the live streams you checked out this week. It is my pleasure to present Greg Simmons and Casanova Ace of the Staunch Moderates, and they have a new album coming out, their debut album, and they've got some really exciting pairings with music giants like the Doobie Brothers, Steely Dan, Skunk Baxter, Tears for Fears, and the legendary actress Mamie Van Doren. Their debut album sharing the movement's story through music with input from the Incredible Hulk himself, Lou Ferrigno, and Barry Goldwater Jr. And without any further ado, we're going to get this started. And gentlemen, thank you. And what's Staunch Moderates all about?
That's a great question.
Okay, I guess I'll take this one. Staunch Moderates, we're an intellectual movement focused on addressing the great divide we all live in. We're all about striving for national and world peace. That's it.
Casanova, you want to follow up on that?
Yeah, I mean, the Staunch Moderates is all about all the things that, the world is lacking today. I mean, we hear nothing about gang shootings and fires on the news and, everything negative. And the Staunch Moderates combats racism and, things that went on at the Capitol riots and the reason why. We're all about the love, peace, unity. It sounds cliched, but when you listen to the record, that's basically what the Staunch Moderates focuses on. And when we sign people up, we don't sign up extremists or people like that. We sign up people who are combating the great divide and going towards positivity.
How did this all start? Who was the aha where all this came about? What happened?
Hello. It was early 2019, and I was having it was cocktail hour with some friends, and we were making fun of the extremists. And one of us said, "Hey, I know. Why don't we start a new political party, Staunch Moderates?" And boom, that started the conversations. Conversations went all year through 2019, and finally December 4th in 2019, I filed a trademark for Staunch Moderates, and we rolled up our sleeves, got to work, did campaigned at 17 different primaries, 23 vital societal issue forums. We wrote a platform, manifesto, hosted a bunch of shows, polls, attended the conventions, the debates. We even had an election day show Casanova was part of, and at the end, once Biden was elected and Trump wasn't, we were like, now what are we going to do? So we made a hip hop album.
Hey, they had the meeting. They had that meeting at Socrates Cafe, which on the first single out is Socrates Cafe. That's why that's named that, because that's where that took place. The birth of Staunch Moderates was at Socrates Cafe. They had the baby.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. This is designed to be a political party. This is no joke.
It was, we were flirting with being a political party, and we've since moved away from being a political party, and really we stick to being more of a philosophy. I'm personally all about the philosophy for everybody getting along and striving for peace. We don't take sides or positions or strive for power. We just want to get everybody to focus on getting along in peace, because everybody's so focused with their heels dug in and fighting hard for their sides. And this great divide, and man, is the divide strong right now. And a lot of it's because of what's going on Facebook and Twitter. Because the success for Facebook and Twitter is engagement. What equals engagement is people fighting. That's why people engage, and we're trying to get people to engage on everything that's positive: love, peace, music. Let's get back to that, and we're all about
football.
That. Yeah, football. We like football. Actually, we have a staunch moderates philosophy on football, and that philosophy is extremism belongs on the football field.
Kind of automatic, huh? Hey, I'm curious. When you started doing this and went forward, what in your mind, you said part of it, but I want to hear, is it really just Facebook and Twitter, or is it text-based communication versus as we're communicating, which is video? We see each other, we see our expressions and so on. And is that the real problem? I mean, I think it is. What do you think?
I'm seeing each other as I think the divide is more exacerbated by the communications where people don't see each other, written communication, because they don't have to take accountability. They don't have to have you see the person's reaction, So I really think it's Facebook and Twitter is quite a big part of the contribution of this divide. Actually, it's the majority.
Well,
Go ahead.
To me, the big problem is, we have a real lack of leadership, not just in America, but globally. Where are our leaders? Where are our role models? Where are the people telling us what to do in a straight line? It's almost like they manic depressive. It's almost like they don't even know what to do. We lost Martin Luther King, and we lost Malcolm X, and we lost JFK, and we lost all the people that really were striving to lead the country in a positive way to where everybody would unite. We don't have that today. I mean, Joe Biden doing the best job he can, but his leadership is not that. And then you had Donald Trump, who set the country back 50 years, who aligned himself publicly with people like David Duke and people like that, and just took the country in a tailspin to where we going back to the 50s, to where it's all right to be openly racist and all right to be openly prejudiced. We don't need that. So somebody had to speak up and say enough is enough. We're all human beings. We're all in this together. Let me remind you of that, because we all got to live here together, whether you like it or not.
Greg, you want to add on to that?
Actually, I heard a little bit coming out of Casanova. That was part of the divide, and that was an attack of Donald Trump. That's a big part of the divide. Everybody attacking Donald Trump, and Donald Trump, Trumpies attacking back, man. That's what it's all about. And it's hard not to engage in it. But it just happened right here, right now. Yeah, for real.
Are you separate? Is like one of you Democrats, one of you Republican, or one of you Trumpers and the other not, or is it?
I'm not pro or denying nothing or nobody.
Oh, come on, Cass, you're a lib and I'm a conservative. Let's face it. We know that. My number one partner.
I got a theory about that. I believe everybody, and I do mean everybody, whether you call yourself a conservative or a liberal, I believe in the privacy of your own home. If you're a conservative, you're a liberal about some issues somewhere, and vice versa.
But I'm curious.
There's also, this is an interesting point. There's also a vein of extremism that runs through each and every one of us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there all parts of the rainbow is what makes us up. It's just how much we go ahead, Zenny.
I just have a question, Greg. When you say you're conservative, define conservatism for me, please.
Oh boy, that's an assignment on the spot, on the air. Conservatism, gosh, I wish I had my notes on it so that I could do it good and clean. But
capitalism,
conservatism, I hate to say it, it's not my favorite part of conservatism, but it's a strong military. It is focused on business and economy more. And I'm just flubbing this description of conservative platform. Let's circle back on this.
Can I help out with my definition?
Please.
It is the maintenance of classic institutions. And I say that because when I describe that, it actually runs far afield from the problems that we have today, not to go on a soapbox because that goes against my rule, but I'll keep it very succinct. The conservatism I learned was mathematically and economically mathematically based. It had nothing to do with someone's color, skin color, or anything else. And
right.
Institutions.
I think you said it perfectly. It's classic institutions,
right,
as opposed to progressive or liberal.
But they're maintained by law, and as you and I, everybody knows, the law is changeable and all that. So my point is, it's a very the conservatism that I practice is mathematically based and institutionally based. In other words, what does the institution do? How does the institution want to maintain itself? And does the law allow that? And is social change causing those changes to occur? And if they are, and we agree to those laws, then that's set. That's the conservatism that I practice. That's why I ask, because it's I believe it's I'm saying this as a deliberate attack. I believe that the conservatism that practiced today isn't really conservative at all. It's more of an anti-intellectualism that is focused on such things as not understanding what a person is coming from based on their background or color or sex or anything else. And I think we've been damaged by it. So there you go. I'm picking a fight.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Well, Republicans as opposed to Democrats, Republicans definitely embrace more conservative principles than the Dems do, they certainly are not coming from both sides of the aisle and setting their differences aside.
Do you see why Goldwater is so exciting?
Excuse me?
Let me clarify something so everybody understand my position on something. It wasn't necessarily an attack on Trump himself. Throughout the spectrum of politics in America, okay, you see Greg right there, you see me right there. Myself as a black man growing up in the projects of Brooklyn, New York, and my walk through life, through my history of living, is not the same history or walk through life that Greg has as a white man in America. Let's be real. But the beautiful part about it was you see a white guy like him and a black guy like me being able to come together, even with all our differences, with our walks in life being skewed from left to right, from conservative or liberal or whatever you want to call it, and being able to come together, join hands and say, look, we need beauty in the world. We need positivity in the world. And if you don't understand what Staunch Moderates is, that's what Staunch Moderates is all about.
Got it.
Yeah. So, and that's our strategy to combat the divide and all the negativity. Really trying to get people to refocus and even meditate on de-escalation as opposed to escalation and exacerbation.
And in the interest of engagement, let me Color Oakland chimes in. And what happens when institutions corrupt and led by corporate donors? I guess that's for all of us. But you guys want to respond to that?
I heard a long form of corruption. Basically, the biggest mafia in the world is basically the U.S. government and the lobbying system, and it's corrupt as hell. But everywhere in the world's corrupt as hell. And for the U.S. is a pretty successful country enterprise for 250 plus years. But I'll tell you what, as we get older, we get diseases, rather they be different forms of cancer, And that's what we're experiencing right now, our country. That's the way I see it. You know, things were much better looking for us 50 years ago. The world looked much more promising than it did today.
Yeah, and you want to respond to that, Casanova?
Yeah, like he said, you know, the U.S. is the biggest mafia on the planet. You see, what corporations do is they try to brainwash the people by building up big buildings. You know, we just came back from Las Vegas, and the difference between the Las Vegas of old and the Las Vegas now, when Las Vegas was run by the mob, you can get a hot dog for 80 cents, get a hotel room for $19.99. I mean, a really nice one, and be able to take a Vegas vacation for next to nothing. Now going to Vegas is like going to New York. The hotel rooms are sky high, the meals will kill you, and everything else, and everything else.
It ain't cheap.
That's what corporations, do. And what winds up happening is, and this is the biggest trick on the planet, people, they give everybody $1,400 in the bank until everybody shut the hell up. You understand what I'm saying? And they really got the machine running, but you got to be smart enough to be woke enough to see what's happening. Yeah, take the $1,400, but keep talking, because it's all a plot, it's all a plan, and we not falling for it. That's the point.
Yeah, and I wrote Calling Me Oakland. I reflexively wrote this. I probably shouldn't have, but I did. And the reason why I said that is because, look, there's corruption in every institution, regardless of how you feel about it. And institutions are simply reflections of what we as a society want. Those institutions could be the military, they could be Planned Parenthood, they could be the KKK, they could be any organization or group that's lasted, that we collectively identify as an institution to some other person has some corruption in them, even those people that may be within them, like look at the finances. So that can apply to anything. What I want to talk about now is how you came up with the idea to do music around this, and how you got involved, the Steely Dan and the Doobie Brothers and Tears for Fears, which goes back to Skyline High School in 1980 for me, man.
Oh yeah.
And, I mean, this is the fun part. How did all this
high school in LA?
Skyline High School in Oakland. Tom Hanks, he's class of 74. Okay. I'm class of 80. John Landgraf, the president or chairman of FX, is class of 80 with me. Best high school in the world. Just want to get that in there. But anyway, but yeah, this is exciting stuff. I mean, I'm looking at this, and I didn't know for copyright reasons if I could play the music, so I didn't try to want to do that. And YouTube has a really sensitive algorithm, which can hurt you. So I didn't want to get involved in doing that. But that doesn't stop us from talking about the music. And how did all this come about? Because you say we have notable producers. You've got guitar solos by Jeffrey Skunk Baxter, and it's the album called The First Realm. So talk about that name.
Go ahead.
The First Realm. What is that?
How about it all starts where we all met many years ago, 2003, I think it was, Night of 100 Stars.
Yes.
You were there, weren't you? Yes, man.
I covered.
Losey was there. I was there. Cass was there.
My first one, though, was, in fairness, was 2010. That was my first one as press. Yeah.
Okay.
Huh. But I reflexively responded because I love the Night of 100 Stars. I miss it so much. Really do. So
it all started. I'm walking across the lobby, and there's this big guy that just had a presence like nobody's business. And I go, what celebrity is that? He was a big time wrestler. His name is Casanova Ace. We're on with him right now. He goes, hey man, what you doing? What you doing here? And I go, well, I'm a creator, writer of a scripted comedy television show. And he goes, tell me about it. I start pitching it. I get halfway through it. And he goes, that's it. I'm like, what? What'd you say, Cass?
I said, you got everybody loves Raymond Seinfeld and Friends. The next big hit show is called Aspen. then I went into a rap about, you know, everything he told me, and that's how we met, and we had a ball that night.
It all started right there.
Hey, Greg, tell us about the scripted comedy you were writing, by the way. Tell us about your aspect, your background, and Casanova, talk about your wrestling before we go further. I want to get that on the record here.
Well, I live in Aspen, and HBO hosted a comedy fest, second biggest comedy festival in the world, called the HBO US Comedy Arts Festival from the early 2000s for the first decade of the 21st century. And it was a fantastic comedy festival, and inspired me to create a comedy about life in Aspen. So we called it Aspen the Series. And yeah, worked at it for many years, never got it off the ground, but in the process, met Casanova, also met this cat, CJ Vanston, who's the keyboardist for Tears for Fears tour. That's our connection to Tears for Fears. And he connected me with his good friend, Jeffrey Skunk Baxter. And it's all connection from being in the television business back in the day, promoting Aspen the Series. Casanova Ace he'd come to the HBO US Comedy Arts Festival to promote my gig, but by the time he was there for a day or two, HBO would hire him to open all their shows, their main shows, because he'd rap and introduce people. And so that's where that's the background of the music. And in 2020, I dropped the idea with our social media director, who's connected to the Chicago CRC, Chicago Recording Company. And I dropped the idea with him. You know, what about making a hip hop album about it? He goes, that's an interesting idea. And so you know, when we got to the end of the election year, and we got a lot of story, and we are on here in this show with the most amazing poet I've ever met in my life, and that's our Casanova Ace, Staunch Moderates' own Biggie Smalls. A lot of people say he sounds like Biggie, actually.
Yeah, and, Greg and I, you know, even after, you know, after Aspen the Series, post Aspen the Series, you know, we kept in touch all the time. And then he told me that he had this, told me about the movement, which I studied up on, and I went to, and I encourage everybody to go to staunchmoderates.org, you know, to learn more about us. And I went and read, you know, all the materials that they had. And then, you know, he would tell me the different themes and ideas he wanted to cover with the album. And so he would tell me, you know, what the themes and ideas were. And I just got to writing, man. I just got to writing the lyrics and everything like that. We went into the studio, and we stayed in the studio for what about a year?
11 sessions, 11 5-hour sessions over 9 months.
11 sessions in the studio. And I did it through having heart problems and all kinds. I was in and out the hospital, and I was having heart, but
5 or 7 times, right?
Yeah, it was a labor of love, but we wound up really getting through it. I mean, this album has a real story behind it, and now it's out, and you know, I really hope that it's received in the vein that it was put out to be, you know, to help through music bring positivity and bring eyes to the movement, so people can see the movement for what it is.
And Ed,
you know, can I run down the some song titles? Won't take but 30 seconds.
Maybe like 10 seconds of, not for copyright.
Yeah, it won't take long at all. Socrates Cafe, Staunch, that's our Bigfoot mascot. Lou Ferrigno, Baseball, Bill Maher, COVID-19, George Floyd, Peace, Maggie Connor, who's an Olympian, Philosophy, Journey, Barry Goldwater, Staunch Moderate News, and the Staunch Moderate. Just to give you a vibe of. Go ahead.
I got an idea. If one of you could play 10 seconds of a tune, there's a technical reason that you can do that may not trigger what I'm fearing would be triggered. So, yeah.
I can do it. Here we go.
10 seconds.
Here is Staunch. There he is.
He's big, he's strong, and he steals the show. Bigger than our friend before we know. People look at him and they say, what? He's bigger than the Incredible Hulk. He's got a hairy face, but he's so good looking. Politically correct, and he's always cooking. He don't say much, but when he says something, he's got views, and his views are pumping. And when he talks, you best to listen.
You get enough there?
Yeah, yeah. I think Ed was saying no volume, but Ed, there's a delay, so you'll hear it. There's a delay. That's great. That's I like that. That's singable. Somebody should have sent me the lyrics so I could have recited the rap here a cappella. You know.
I wonder if you can rap like Casanova.
I know. You know what? I am not. I'm not that guy. Not that I can't if I don't want to. I just, I think I'd spare other people. Why bother, right? Hey, so how many songs are on the album, and what was it like to collaborate with all these greats?
14 songs were on the album. Are on the album. And how was it collaborating with all these greats for you, Casanova Ace?
To be honest, I'm gonna tell you something. I laid my tracks down and I went to bed. When I woke up, they sent me the tracks back, and I came to find. I almost passed out when I came to find that Tears for Fears and the Doobie Brothers and all of these people were on the album with me, and it was like the Christmas gift to end all Christmas gifts from Greg Simmons and the rest of the team. I had a team that I didn't know nothing about until almost the end, and I'm still awed and then shocked and humbled that all of these people came together to make this record what it was. So, it wasn't just me. It's a we situation, and the team that I got a football team all in myself that's Super Bowl bound, and I'm grateful for it.
But by the way, our NFL expansion team, proposed expansion team, we're called the Bigfoots.
The Bigfoots.
Come to Oakland. We need a football team.
Yeah, here, man. The Raiders abandoned you. Sorry about that.
Oh, hey, yeah, it's it's hard, but the Raiders
They're
are
still good though. We went to see the Raiders the other night.
You were at you're at Allegiant Stadium? You were in Vegas?
Oh, yes.
We went. We were celebrating the drop of our album.
Oh, you're kidding me. You got pictures? You should send me a picture. I can put them up right now. Or are they on Facebook or something? Or
I don't have I don't have pictures of the football game on my phone. I've got a friend of mine.
Next time to come back and share, and we'll do a Raiders focus special. But what I'm going to share right now, folks.
You still rooting for them, even though they're in Vegas?
Once a Raider, yeah. Once a Raider, always a Raider. And see, I also cover the NFL, and the NFL's been really good to me in creating my business. So I have a business reason for that decision. But here is the website of the Staunch Moderates. It's post-2020, a major shift from the Trump administration to the Biden era. There's a lingering pandemic, and our country is dealing with the impact of simmering civil and racial strife, along with the rest of the division in our society. Translated, no wonder sex is down like never before, as according to statistics. But at any rate, it says.
You said no wonder what is down?
Sexual activity. Yeah,
I thought that's what I heard you say.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, the birth rates and all. That's what I read.
Oh.
I hope I'm wrong. But I'm like, yeah, because there's all this stress and everybody's out and all this stuff, and okay. But today we have access to more information than ever before. Our disagreements have become uncompromising and outrageous. There's our great flag, and it reads, to address such angry and divided behavior, we must ask ourselves, how and why do we act out? Is it necessary for the greater good? What common goals can we unite around? and find broader support for? How can we, like having a good time or partying in Vegas? How can we, which is something you guys I think should really focus on, how can we find commonality with moderate politics, allowing us to move forward and achieve vital social goals? Press the button to get involved. One of the newest organizations for moderate politics. And there's the philosophy and the views, and I'm looking for that link to the music. I like the photographs.
We don't have the link on the website to our music. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Well, think.
It's good to meet you, Zenny.
Yeah. Great to meet you all too. Yeah, it's like so. We will, in fact, speaking of the link, because I want to square that circle. Where online can I get that link, or should I put it on? You know what I'll do? I'll put the link.
Spotify. Spotify is a whole. You can get a link for the full First Realm album.
Okay, because what I'll do is I can put that link in this post, which is a blog post as well on Oakland News Now, and and people can click on it and listen.
So I should be sending that to you as we speak. Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, by the way, Carla Me Oakland says he can hear Biggie. Love it.
Yeah, that's what Greg called me. He called me Staunch Moderates on Biggie Smalls.
Yeah, Biggie.
Well, other people come up to me when I play the music and they always say, hey, that sounds like Biggie. They say two things. They say that sounds like 90s rap and that sounds like Biggie. Time and time again it happens. I'll tell you what.
I love it. I definitely love it. Hey, where'd you guys stay in Vegas, by the way? What hotel? Got any recommendations?
The Aria.
I love that place. Wow.
Yeah, really nice.
Yeah, you guys did it up. How did you like the stadium? How did you like Allegiant Stadium?
Oh, it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Air conditioned inside.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Much needed. Otherwise, we would have been out in 104 degrees.
Yeah.
Did you eat any place? You arrived early and partake in the restaurant offerings?
We had some of the most amazing roast beef sandwiches at the stadium that I've ever tasted. When you can get a roast beef sandwich that don't need mayonnaise, that's magic.
Yes, absolutely. What was the place you got it at in the stadium?
Greg got it. I don't know.
Greg, what do you remember the place?
Yeah, we were evidently some VIP section. I didn't think it was VIP when we bought the seats because they were reasonable seats, but they weren't the greatest seats.
Reasonable?
And
reasonable?
You like the seats, Jess?
Wait, we was on the second row. The 40-yard line.
They were great cheerleader seats.
When one of the athletes did this, sweat hit us.
All right, one at a time. Say that again. What you were saying, Casanova, about the seats?
We were so close that if an athlete went like this, the sweat would hit you in the forehead.
That's close.
That's real close.
That's close.
We were sitting behind the Ravens, though.
Oh. Well, hey, Lamar Jackson.
Man, so what?
I'm a Niners-Raiders fan.
You're in the middle of a $2.2 billion stadium. Front row seats, technically, and you're complaining. Unbelievable. And you got an album on the way out. It's out. You have what should be a political movement that's launching. You got nothing to complain about, and you're in Las Vegas.
Man, I'm tell you something.
For national and world peace. That's what we're all about.
Yeah.
We had a celebration and a half. We had a great hotel, great food, great seats at the stadium, a great time, and all due to this man. Oh, and we cut a bunch of videos that's going to be on the upcoming single. Don't forget to mention that with my partner in crime, Staunch. Staunch
we shot
was
a bunch
even
of
there.
footage that's going to end up on music videos. Yeah, in fact, we're coming out with what Cass was saying. We're coming out with a music video for Staunch, my buddy over my shoulder here. He's actually a full 8-foot mask, a full 8-foot Bigfoot when he's cruising around with us properly.
I can't wait. I cannot wait. Hey, any closing thoughts as we finish a conversation that can go on for a number of hours? Hey, by the way, Vegas.
I'm still trying to send you that link.
I'm gonna say it like this.
Yeah.
Talent I got, but some I have any. My favorite comedian, Hill, first name Benny. First place I like to eat is called Denny's. The ride that I'm on right now is Zenny. Zenny is the man. Yo, what's up, man? First name Zenny, last name Abraham. Oh, yes, yeah, guy, he's at par. Met him at night of 100 stars. But now, years later, here we go. Oh, Zenny's got his own talk show. So he has dissected it bit by bit. Now you know what it means to be staunch moderate.
On Zenny 62 Media. Yes. Incorporated. Thank you.
You two are so well spoken. I'll tell you what.
Well, nobody's more well spoken than you.
Hats off.
You knocked this one out the park.
You got it, definitely. Hey, so out of respect for Greg's times, I know that he's got to bolt. We'll all close out together. And gentlemen, you got to come back and do another. This is a lot of fun. And I think in doing this, and I would think, first of all, I want to thank Clemmie Oakland for the colorful commentary and the laughs and the comment that art is powerful and mentioning that he's a Patriots fan who's going to lose to the Saints tomorrow. Jameis will throw 400 yards. Watch. He will torch the Patriots. Anyway, but my whole point is, you got to come back because by doing this, wait, is my man David Compton? Hold on a second. One of my investors. Hey, Zenny, Greg, and Casanova. I'm also a Fort Lauderdale fan. And Cass, any kin to Biggie? Are you any kin to Biggie?
I'm not kin to Biggie, but we grew up in the same section of Brooklyn, Fort Greene. There's a lot of rappers in the game I came up with that I came up with together. I'm gonna tell you, you're in Oakland. One of my biggest best friends that came up in the game with too was Spice One. So shout out to Spice One Chico, the man.
Gosh, actually, David is in. He's down chilling in Palm Desert, man.
Woo! You talk about hot, but glorious. Good for him.
Yeah, playing some golf.
Yeah, Dave, how's the golf game? Dave is the man. Dave has been a great supporter of the channel. I owe him a hoodie. So Zenny 62 Media hoodie, which everybody will eventually get one of, or a T-shirt.
All right. Yeah, thank you. 5X.
Done. Okay, done. All right, folks.
That link, I'm sending it just right now, finally.
Cool. Hey, folks. He's in Desert Hot Springs. Got it. So, folks, and Ed, thanks a lot, Ed, to Edward Losey for putting this together. And we'll be back. Or as Arnold would say, I'll be back.
I'll be back.
I'll be back. Gotta be cool to get him on here. You gotta bring Arnold. You know what? That would be cool if we get the governor. I still call him the governor out, but look, Gavin Newsom was one of my best friends, so it's no offense to Gavin at all. But I'll
tell you what, Arnie speaks moderates. I'll tell you what, that guy, he would be a great spokesperson for us. Yeah,
we should get him on here. That would be cool to have him on, because that would be fantastic to have Arnold Schwarzenegger on with you guys. Ed, got to set that up, man. We got to figure out a way to coax or bribe or beg and plead to cajole Governor Schwarzenegger to come on here.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right.
He definitely speaks moderates, though. I'll tell you what, he speaks our vernacular.
Big time. I voted for him twice when he was governor. So there you go. All right, folks. Subscribe to Zenny62. Bookmark oaklandnewsnow.com. That ends this broadcast. Thank you very much. We'll see you.
Yes, sir.
Guys, stick around the backstage. You don't need to push any buttons.
Thank you, Zenny.